Broward County in Florida missed their deadline to submit their recount by 2 minutes. And as a result, the state has rejected these machine recount results. So apparently the recount arrived late due to their unfamiliarity with the state's website. I mean, this is insane. Also, 2 other counties did not submit new totals to the state. Hillsborough, which cited an unexplained drop in the overall number of votes, and Palm Beach County, where Supervisor of Elections Susan Butcher had warned that malfunctioning vote counting machines would prevent a complete count. In fact, she was quoted as saying, "If we had 3 or 4 more hours, we might have made the time. We got stuck with some mechanical issues."
Okay, so let's break this down. First of all, there's an artificial deadline to begin with. It's the same thing with the FBI investigation of Kavanaugh. Like, nope, it's got to be done in an incredibly small period of time. Why? Is democracy going anywhere? Is Florida going anywhere? Is the Senate going anywhere? You know, the new senators don't actually take office until January. So what's the panic about? Why don't we just count all the votes and do it with decent deliberation? We explained to you when they ordered the recount that given the pace of previous recounts, it would take about 8 days to finish the recount. But they only gave them from Saturday to Thursday. But now Broward County finished it anyway. And you know, in terms of being efficient, they weren't doing that great. So let's keep it real about that, right? But they did finish it. But 2 minutes late. Really, we're not going to count those votes in Broward County because they were 2 minutes late. Like, that's a real thing. So like, people are they're gonna say that, and everybody's gonna accept it and go, I guess so. 2 minutes late.
Rules are rules.
Right. So all your votes, let's throw them in the garbage.
So the results of this particular recount are invalid based on missing that timeline by or that deadline by 2 minutes. There might be a manual recount. So D'Alessandro said there was 2,040 vote difference between the votes in the manual recount and those tabulated earlier. I don't know if they're going to be able to do another recount, but they absolutely should. They absolutely should, because if anything, first of all, just where we're at right now with this voting issue in Florida, this discourages people from going to the polls. Like, let's keep it real, because it makes people lose faith in the democratic process, in going out there and casting their ballots, and it's disastrous. So they need to find a way to solve this if they genuinely believe in democracy.
So let's be clear, there's a couple of different elections on the line here. So in the governor's race of Andrew Gillum versus DeSantis, that might be past the number that would automatically trigger a hand recount, a manual recount. So in that case, well, they say, yeah, you missed the deadline, sad day for you, we're done with it, okay? It doesn't mean they're not counting any of the votes from Broward County. It's just saying we're going back to the old vote, okay? And we're gonna ignore the more accurate count. We don't want the more accurate count. It makes a mockery of democracy. As soon as this happened during the break, I said that, and then Michael coined a great new term. It makes it a demockery, and so and that's what it is. I mean, which democracy says, "Oh, we have a better count of what your votes are," but we know it, but we're going to ignore it because you missed the deadline by 2 minutes. So now, in the case of Rick Scott and Bill Nelson, that's a Senate race. If the margin is close enough, that triggers a manual recount. And then in that manual recount, they could go back to those malfunctioning machines in Palm Beach County or Palm County, and they could go back and hand recount Broward as well. That also has a really narrow artificial deadline. And don't get me wrong, they don't count every vote by hand. They go in manually and look at undervotes and overvotes to try to determine intent of the voters. So it's not complicated. I can guarantee you right now, if there was a recount where it favored the Republicans, but they were late by 2 minutes, none of us would turn around and go, nope, I don't care. I hate democracy. I don't want the vote. I don't want the real count. I'm not hearing it. No, it's 2 minutes late. None of us would do that.
Well, with the Scalia court in 2000, there was no clock running. It was just, well, we're going to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And I think, listen, we reeled from that for a long time. And every time he was questioned on it, Scalia would say, come on, move on. We've been there, we're done. It's like, yeah, but we're supposed to have a say in all this.
I mean, that's someone who's supposed to interpret and protect the Constitution, telling you to move on when it comes to the most fundamental part of our democratic process. It's unbelievable.
So he was a Supreme Court justice. So, you know, if you go to court, you get a judge, you get a justice. So imagine if you went to court and the judge says, well, you robbed this bank. And you say, oh, come on, just move on. Just move on. That's in the past.
It doesn't work. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't work, huh? That's interesting. It almost seems like it's different rules for you than for the elite. So, and Michael, you're absolutely right about 2000. That decision was so egregious. They said this is not precedent for any other case, meaning we know we're cheating here. Okay, so don't take this seriously for any other case. This is only for this. And Scalia was for states' rights. Florida said it is the right of this state to count our votes. And Scalia and the other conservatives said no. Yeah. We were just kidding about states' rights. Or more accurately, we were lying the whole time. Don't care. We will not allow you to recount it at all. Right. And so this election is over, and you're not allowed to find out who actually won. And when news organizations, by the way, recounted the votes later, turns out Gore had won the state of Florida. Not just the vote overall, the popular vote. Everybody knows that. He had won the Electoral College. He should have been president. But the Republicans literally stole that election. The Supreme Court stole it for them. And now they're doing the same tricks they always do. They turn around and go, 2 minutes late, sorry. Look, I don't know that this would even change the results of the election.
That's not the point.
But that's not the point, And the point is, they're not interested in it. And look, one of their leaders, the guy who set up the Heritage Foundation and some of the other larger right-wing organizations, back in 1980 gave a speech saying, I don't want everybody to vote. I only want our side to vote.
I mean, I think it's been abundantly clear over the last several elections that they don't want everyone to vote. I mean, they've gone to great lengths to prevent people from voting, especially in the state of Georgia recently. So that doesn't come as a surprise. They don't believe in democracy. They just don't. I mean, the very people who refer to themselves as constitutionalists, the very people who claim that they love the country, they protect the country, they want, to support the troops who protect our country and fight for democracy, they're always lying to you. Because when push comes to shove, when it comes to real, when it comes to the actual democratic process, allowing people to go out there, voice their opinions, voice their support for politicians and cast their ballots, they don't want that to happen unless that person is voting for their side. That's not democracy.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.